A man who's just playing you will cloak his real intentions in sweet words and hollow promises until it's too late and your heart is already entangled. But a man who's truly serious will prove it through clarity, consistency, and actions that leave no room for doubt. I'm Vernon. Today, I'll share 4 red flags every mature woman must recognize. Signs that separate genuine devotion from polished deception. Your age doesn't make you less desirable. It makes you more valuable because of the wisdom you carry. But that wisdom must also include the ability to discern between a man who's ready to build a life with you and one who's merely passing through. You don't deserve games. You deserve commitment. Before we dive in, hit that like button and subscribe so you won't miss powerful tips on love, dating, and building meaningful connection after 60, when emotional depth matters more than ever. And your support helps me reach more women who need to hear these truths. So let's begin with the very first red flag, one that reveals itself early, yet so many women overlook. Number 1. He avoids defining the relationship. The first red flag is perhaps the most telling. He consistently avoids defining what you two are to each other. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Vernon, we're mature adults, we don't need labels. But here's the truth. A man who's serious about you won't be afraid to claim you. As Maya Angelou once said, and I'm paraphrasing here in my own words, when someone shows you who they are through their actions and words, believe them the first time. If a man consistently dodges conversations about where your relationship is heading, he's showing you exactly where his heart isn't. My aunt, Nora, a 61-year-old retired teacher I worked with, she met David at a community center dance class. For 8 months, they shared dinners, weekend trips, and intimate conversations. But whenever Nora introduced David to friends or family, he would introduce himself as just a friend. When she brought up their relationship status, David would change the subject or say things like, "Why do we need to complicate things with labels?" The psychology behind this behavior is clear. If he can't define what you are, he doesn't have to be accountable for how he treats you. He keeps his options open while keeping you hoping. A serious man doesn't hesitate to call you his partner, his girlfriend, or whatever term feels right for both of you. He's proud to be with you, and he wants the world to know it. Think about it this way. If someone asked you about your best friend, would you hesitate to call her your best friend? Of course not. The same principle applies to romantic relationships. Clarity isn't complicated when intentions are genuine. This avoidance often comes with phrases like, "Let's just see where things go," or "I don't want to rush into anything," or "We're having fun, isn't that enough?" After a reasonable amount of time getting to know each other, and at our age that shouldn't take years, these phrases become red flags, not romantic mysteries. You are not asking for too much when you want to know where you stand. You're not being pushy or demanding, you're being reasonable. A man who's playing games will make you feel like you're asking for the moon, when all you want is the basic respect of knowing what you mean to him. The right man won't make you guess. He won't leave you wondering or make you feel foolish for wanting clarity. He'll be as eager as you are to define what you're building together, because he's genuinely excited about the future you might share. But words aren't the only clue. His actions speak even louder, which brings us to our second red flag. Number 2. He's inconsistent with time and effort. One of the biggest signs a man isn't serious is the stop-and-go rhythm of his attention, sometimes present, sometimes gone. Someone who's committed will show up consistently, reliably, and with genuine enthusiasm. But those who are just playing invest only when it's convenient or when they need something. You know, there's an old saying that I've adapted over the years. A person's priorities are revealed not by what they say, but by where they consistently invest their time. If he's constantly canceling plans, showing up late without good reason, or disappearing for days without communication, he's telling you exactly where you rank in his life, and it's not at the top. Consistency isn't about perfection. Life happens to all of us. What I'm talking about is a pattern of behavior that shows you're an option, not a priority. Maybe he's attentive and romantic for a week, then goes radio silent for several days. Maybe he makes elaborate promises about future plans, but consistently fails to follow through on simple commitments. This inconsistency creates what psychologists call an intermittent reinforcement schedule, the same principle that makes gambling addictive. When someone gives you attention unpredictably, your brain actually craves it more. You start making excuses for his behavior, analyzing every interaction, wondering if you did something wrong during the silent periods. If your own daughter or best friend told you she was dating someone who only made time for her when it suited him, what would you tell her? Now I want you to comment below with your honest answer, because sometimes we give better advice than we take. Here's what consistent effort looks like in a healthy relationship. He makes plans with you and keeps them. He communicates regularly, not just when he wants something. He remembers the things that matter to you. He makes time for you even when his schedule is busy, because you matter enough to prioritize. I've seen too many wonderful women accept crumbs of attention because they've been convinced that's all they deserve. You've raised families, built careers, overcome challenges that would break lesser people. You deserve someone who sees your worth and acts accordingly. The inconsistent man will often blame external circumstances, work stress, family obligations, health issues. While these can be legitimate temporary challenges, they become red flags when they're constantly used as excuses for poor treatment. A serious man finds ways to maintain connection and consideration even during difficult times. Pay attention to how he treats your time. Does he assume you're always available at his convenience? Does he make last-minute requests and expect you to drop everything? Or does he respect your schedule and plan ahead because he values both your time and his time with you? And when his actions are shaky, often his honesty is too, which leads us to the next red flag. Number 3. He hides parts of his life. Secrecy is a clear red flag. I'm not talking about normal privacy, which is healthy and necessary. I'm talking about deliberately hiding significant parts of his life, his daily routines, relationships, or circumstances. If, after months of dating, you've never met his friends, family members, or anyone important in his life, that's a red flag. If he's vague about his living situation, work, or how he spends his time when he's not with you, that's concerning. If he guards his phone like it contains state secrets, or never invites you to his home, you need to pay attention.
At our age, most of us have rich, full lives with established friendships, family relationships, and routines. A man who's serious about you will want to integrate you into his world gradually and appropriately. He'll be excited to introduce you to people who matter to him, and he'll be interested in meeting the people who matter to you. The psychology behind excessive secrecy is usually one of two things. Either he's hiding something that would change how you see him, or he's keeping his options open. Maybe he's still legally married and going through a complicated divorce. Maybe he's dating multiple people simultaneously. Maybe he's misrepresented his financial situation, living arrangements, or availability. Secrets in the early stages of dating often become lies in the later stages. If someone can't be transparent about the basic facts of their life, how can you trust them with your heart? Now, let me be clear. There's a difference between moving slowly and being secretive. Moving slowly means he's thoughtful about introducing you to important people in his life and wants to make sure the timing is right. Being secretive means he actively avoids these conversations or becomes evasive when you ask reasonable questions about his life. Trust your instincts here. If something feels off, it probably is. If his stories don't quite add up, if he changes the subject when you ask about his day, if he's never available during certain times without a clear explanation, these are all forms of hiding. The right man will be an open book, eager to share his world with you because he wants you to be part of it. He'll tell you about his work, his friends, his family dynamics, his hobbies, and his challenges. Not all at once, of course, but gradually and naturally as your relationship deepens. Remember, you're not being nosy when you want to know about the life of someone you're emotionally investing in. You're being smart. You're protecting your heart by making sure you're falling for a real person, not a carefully constructed image. As the wise Oprah once said, and I'll put this in my own words, the truth has a feeling to it, and so does deception. Learn to recognize both. If this is helping you see things more clearly, please share this video with a friend who might need to hear it. Sometimes we can see red flags in others' relationships more clearly than our own. Secrecy is troubling enough, but add in the way he undermines your worth, and you'll see the clearest warning yet.
Number 4, he makes you doubt your worth. The most damaging red flag is when he makes you doubt your worth. The right partner lifts you up, not drags you down. If you're constantly questioning whether you're good enough, attractive enough, or interesting enough, that's not love, it's manipulation. This red flag is particularly insidious because it's often disguised as honesty or helping you improve. He might make subtle comments about your appearance, criticize your choices, or compare you unfavorably to other women. He might dismiss your opinions, interrupt you frequently, or make you feel foolish for expressing your feelings. My colleague turned friend Emma, a vibrant 64-year-old woman I worked with, had been dating Robert for about 6 months. On the surface, he seemed charming and attentive. But gradually, Emma noticed that Robert's jokes about her weight had become more frequent than his compliments about her smile. He would tease her about her cooking, question her fashion choices, and make her self-conscious about things she had never worried about before. The insidious thing about this behavior is that it happens gradually. It starts small, maybe a comment disguised as concern about your health, or a suggestion that you might want to try a different hairstyle.
But over time, these comments chip away at your self-confidence until you start seeing yourself through his critical eyes instead of your own loving ones. A man who loves you builds you up. He doesn't tear you down. He celebrates your quirks. He admires your strength. He sees beauty in you that you might not even see in yourself. He doesn't try to change you or fix you. He appreciates who you are right now. Emma realized something profound during our conversation. She said, "I spent more time worrying about what Robert thought of me than enjoying who I was with him." That's when she knew she had to walk away. And you know what happened? Within months of leaving that relationship, Emma was back to being the confident, joyful woman she had always been. The man who's right for you will make you feel like the best version of yourself, not a diminished version. He'll remind you of your strengths when you forget them, celebrate your accomplishments, and stand by you during challenging times. He won't use your vulnerabilities against you or make you feel grateful for his attention. At 60 and beyond, you have too much wisdom and too little time to waste on someone who makes you feel small. You've earned the right to be with someone who sees your value clearly and treats you accordingly. Save this video so you can revisit these red flags whenever you need a reminder of what you truly deserve. Sometimes having it at hand makes all the difference when clarity starts to slip. As I always say, and this comes from years of observing human relationships, love should feel like coming home to yourself, not like losing yourself. These red flags aren't here to make you fear men. They're here to protect your heart, so you can find the love that's real. By this point in the video, you've seen the 4 major red flags that reveal when a man isn't truly serious. Together, they paint a clear picture. He keeps you uncertain, invests only on his terms, hides important truths, and slowly chips away at your confidence. A man who's playing games will leave you constantly questioning yourself, analyzing his behavior, and wondering if you're asking for too much. The right man will make you certain of his feelings, certain of your place in his life, and certain of your own worth. You are not too old for love. You are not too demanding when you expect respect. You are not asking for too much when you want consistency and honesty. You have lived too long and learned too much to settle for anything less than genuine love. The right person will make loving you look easy because it won't feel like work to them. It will feel like the most natural thing in the world. Khalil Gibran beautifully reminded us, "Let there be spaces in your togetherness, and let the winds of the heavens dance between you." Real love never suffocates or diminishes. It nurtures, uplifts, and makes room for both people to grow. Do you have a question, a personal insight, or a story of your own about recognizing these red flags or finding genuine love later in life? Share it in the comments below. Your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more wisdom on creating lasting love and meaningful connections in this beautiful season after 60. You can find more uplifting videos in the description that I'm sure will speak directly to your heart. And I'm Vernon. Thanks for watching my video.